What if the secret to hitting your revenue goals isn't just better marketing, but a better client experience? Hi, I'm Mosack, Director of Television Initiatives here at Advisors Excel, and I've watched hundreds of firms increase their spend, add new funnels, and still feel stuck. But the ones who grow fastest, they've unlocked what most advisors miss. When everything else is equal, the budget, the brand, the leads, the marketing, the firms that grow and the firms that stall have one defining difference. They built what we call the ultimate client experience. And today I'm going to reveal how you can turn the ultimate client experience from just a concept into your firm's high-octane engine for growth. Number one, make it personal. This isn't just about knowing client names or birthdays. It's about seeing the person behind the portfolio, the human being who gets this one shot at retirement, and they're trusting you to help them get it right. And this takes a mindset shift. So even though you serve dozens and dozens of clients, it's never the ultimate client's experience. It's singular. It's the ultimate client experience. It's whoever is sitting across from you. It's not the 5 other appointments that you've got stacked behind them. So that means you have to pause. And instead of thinking, what do I have coming up next? You've got to focus on that person right there in that moment with you. And you've got to coach your team to do the exact same thing. Be present, be focused on the person they're serving. Who is in that seat? How do they want to be engaged with? What's important to them? Do you know? Does your team know? Pause, consider them, and find out. Focus on just them, because they can tell when you're focused on them and when you're not. And this is making it personal. It's a shift from service to connection, and from a routine to a relationship. That's where real growth starts to begin. Number 2, make it intentional. A great client experience, it doesn't happen just because you hired a bunch of nice people and they're gonna do the right thing. It happens when you design it on purpose. And intentional, it really means 2 things working together: process and culture. Now, process answers the question, what actually happens? What do we do every single time consistently? What happens in the first 60 seconds when someone picks up and calls your office for the first time? What happens when they walk through the door for that first appointment? What happens when they try to understand what your process looks like? You put on those client goggles, right? And you view it through their eyes. Who does your client see when they walk in? Where do they sit? What do they hear? What happens between meetings 1 and 2? What happens in the first 30 days after someone becomes a client? If you can't describe in detail those steps very clearly, there's no way your team's going to be able to repeat them consistently. And this is where you need to map your journey. You decide on paper, what do you want people to feel at each step? Maybe you want them to feel confident or cared for or highly informed. And then you build simple, repeatable steps that deliver that feeling every single time. That process creates consistency, but it's culture that creates ownership. It really makes the process come alive. And it's empowering your team to be standard bearers, every single one of them. People who understand this is the bar. We're going to uphold it, and then we're going to elevate it. Not because we're told to, but because they want to take ownership. It's really whether your team believes their job is to just get through the day or to create an experience that people talk about on their drive home. And as the leader, you set that tone. You tell stories about great client experiences in those team meetings you have, right? You're celebrating all the small moments of thoughtfulness and delight, and it's not just talking about the really big cases that you won. You got to give your team language and permission to make this a priority. Make the ultimate client experience your culture and your priority. You make it clear that how clients feel, this is not the soft side of business. It's the growth side of business. This is making it intentional. When you design the experience and build the culture around it, you're not relying on just one great advisor or one team member's bubbly personality. You're building something that's repeatable, reliable, and scalable, no matter how big your firm grows. Number 3, make it memorable. Once you have that solid process and a healthy culture, you've earned the right to go off script. And making it memorable, this isn't about being super flashy. You don't have to, spend a lot of cash or anything. It's really about doing something unexpectedly personal at the moments that matter the most. So think about those key moments in that client journey that you have. It could be the moment that someone decides to move all their life savings to you. It could be the moment they walk out of the office having just retired. The moment maybe that a longtime client brings their adult child in for the first time to become your client. What would it look like to put a cherry on top of those moments? Well, it does take insatiable curiosity. Your team is never just gathering data points, right? They're really getting to know a life, a person, and they're paying attention to all those small little details. But the key is really then what they do with those details. What do you do with what you learn? Now, most firms stop at note-taking. Great firms, they treat every single note as a chance to act and make an impact. Now, this also takes a lot of trust, right? For this to work, you do have to have a high degree of trust in your team, because creating all of these moments of delight in others, it can take some vulnerability. It can be a little risky. But when you do trust your team to go off script, well, this is when you add that exclamation mark to the experience. This is making it memorable. When clients feel seen, when they feel remembered and cared for, they don't just stay, they become raving fans. Now, real quick, before we keep going, if you're an independent financial advisor who's struggling with everything on your plate right now, we get it. You might be feeling some anxiety about the future, or maybe you simply just don't have a clear plan or a vision for your business. We have your solution. It's our Advisor Success Track. You create clear plans for your clients, right? So shouldn't you have one for you, for your business? Well, that's what the Advisor Success Track gives you. It's a custom roadmap. It is built specifically for your business. It services exactly what top performing producers, maybe just 1 or 2 steps ahead of you, are doing and what they're doing differently. And then it gives you a customized plan to scale it. It takes only 3 minutes, maybe less, to get started. So no more chasing leads, no more feelings of regret about missing out on family time, and no more being stuck in the day-to-day operations of your practice. Just hit the link right here in the description below. You can find your success track, and you'll walk away with resources tailored specifically to your business. These are areas directly applied to your growth. Okay, let's get back into it. Number 4. Make it measurable. So just like your other KPIs, if you don't find a way to track it, it's gonna just slide right into the background. And then whatever's urgent, it's gonna push out what's important. And this is important. And there are a lot of ways to measure this, but here's how we do it. We use something we call unsolicited positive feedback, or UPF, and it's based on organic, unprompted kudos, gratitude. So in other words, the team knows they have to be so good. They have to create such an amazing experience for the client that they elicit this positive feedback from them, unprompted, completely. So are people going out of their way to tell you that when they were with you and your team, that the experience felt different, it felt great? Not because you sent a survey, not because you asked for a review, but they email you after a meeting just to say thank you, because something really stood out to them within the experience. Maybe they mention your team by name when they talk about your firm, or they leave a review without being asked, they tell a friend. That's the proof that your entire client experience is working at every level. And here's the best part, your team feels this win. They feel it. When they see the unprompted gratitude start to rise, it motivates them to keep raising the bar. It really becomes a force multiplier. And this is really called making it measurable, right? Team ownership, keeping it visible, and treating the client experience as a metric, not as a mystery. Number 5, make it yours. The ultimate client experience, it's just a framework. This is not a script. And the goal is not for your firm to look like someone else's firm down the street. The goal is to build a version that fits you, your values, your goals, and your team. It has to fit your team. And there are 3 quick ways to start making yours right now. First, choose just one moment in that first touch with prospects and upgrade it. Now, it might be the first phone call, the confirmation text, how they're greeted at the door, a drink menu that you provide them. Decide what you want that moment to feel like, and then reverse engineer it. Design 1 or 2 simple steps to create that feeling every single time. Second, create one signature personal touch, something small, scalable, and specific that says, "We see you." It could be a handwritten note with a detail from a conversation you had with them. It could be having their favorite drink the next time they come in. It could be remembering and then acknowledging maybe a date they brought up that really matters to them. Just one thing done consistently, it's way more powerful than 10 things you can't sustain. Third, pick one way to measure how you're doing, and maybe you start tracking that unsolicited positive feedback, or you could just start improving how are you logging those organic referrals. Maybe you track how many clients you hear from between reviews simply because they just wanted to reach out and talk about life. Whatever you choose, write it down and measure it. This is the level most firms never reach. When you make it personal, intentional, memorable, measurable, and truly yours, you turn the client experience into an advantage your competition can't copy. Why? Because people can feel what's real. The hidden growth advantage most advisors miss isn't complicated. It's the ultimate client experience. And when you commit to it, it becomes the edge that separates you from the pack and unlocks what your firm is truly capable of. So those are the 5 ways you can provide the ultimate client experience in your business. And if you do these 5 things well, it means your clients will stay with you longer and you'll get more client referrals. Your business will be able to sustain itself for the long term. So if you want to continue growing as the CEO of your business, where you're able to discover, prioritize, and work on the highest impact areas of your business, click into our Advisor Success Track. It's in the description below. And if you found this helpful, do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with members of your team who could use what we talked about. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in another coaching video soon.